We go.
Not even ready. Our slides aren't even ready.
Oh, right. Just press left with a bunch.
Oh, in your picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's such a good picture, and it's just like messed up. That's what sucks. It was a really good picture. Alright. I was searching for antonyms of the word benefits on Microsoft Word while trying to do a essay for English. But I was unable to find any antonyms because the source only offered synonyms. So I utilized Google search engine for a suitable word. As I was searching or typing in the word antonyms of in the search bar, the first suggestion popped up for benefits. I was left to wonder who was watching me use my personal laptop or interpreting the information on my personal laptop. We all enjoy our personal privacy, some more than others, but the point remains that we all appreciate our feeling safe when using our personal devices. Technology has come a long way over the past couple of decades, but there are considerable consequences to the technological advances we create. So today I have brought subject matter experts on technology who have spent time researching and studying the effects of technology in our world. Jonathan Prudente will start us off with the newest advancements in technology. Peter Close will then follow up with how technology has affected China. I will then state how technology has affected us here in America. And last, Avenue will discuss how we can mitigate risk by becoming cyber aware. Jonathan, the floor is yours.
So, today you cannot go online without being monitored by digital eyes. Hopefully by the end of this speech you will take knowledge of the different technology that can invade one's privacy. Technology is everywhere, but makes it easier to invade one's privacy with an arsenal of devices around us every day. I have done extensive research on what forms of technology invade our privacy. I have an interview from WRAL, an article from Learning9, and an article from CNET.com. Every day your privacy can be invaded by the technology around you, from your smartphones, even to your webcams, and even your social media accounts. A majority of us own a smartphone, but how secure is your smartphone? We utilize our smartphones every day for communication or just for simple entertainment. Everything you do on your phone is seen as valuable information for corporations. Your data can be gathered from just playing a simple game. According to CNET.com, when Pokemon Go arrived, it gave the company data on more than 800 million people, including names and location history. Other companies or third parties were paying a lot of money for such information. Today, our smartphones can recognize our fingerprints or even our faces. You can use your fingerprints or facial recognition to make purchases or even just unlock your device. So they have a good, clear picture of how your face looks and how your fingerprint looks. So what can they do with such information? Now that we know what advancements in technology for our smartphones, let's look at the advancements in the webcams for laptops and doorbells. The webcams on our computers and even in our microphones can be used to invade our privacy. Many people tend to put tape on their webcams in case of having someone potentially watch them. Doorbell cameras can potentially be pointed in the direction of a neighbor's home and invade their privacy. According to a WRAL interview, when you buy a doorbell camera, you're agreeing to the company's terms and services, which mainly asks you to follow the rules that follow the laws based on where you live. Since laws do not accommodate for this new technology, people can get away with much more. Microphones on either your computer or phone can easily pick up things that you are saying. They can adjust advertisements they show you based on things the microphone picked up. For example, if you were talking to a friend about dog food, you will end up seeing more dog-related ads. Now that we have discussed the technological hardware, we can now move on to software such as social media. Everyone has a social media account and uploads information about themselves or other topics. Our social media information is not secure as we thought, with such events like the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal in 2018. CNET.com claimed that thanks to Facebook A UK data analytics firm obtained data of 87 million people without their consent. It was made through a personality quiz, which gathers information such as location, likes, and the person's account. It does not take long for corporations to gather data. According to CNN.com, even when you create an account with no personal details on it, it doesn't take long for a company to relearn everything about you. In conclusion, a lot of the technology that we use daily can be used to gain information about us and invade our privacy. Technology is everywhere, and due to this, it is easier to invade one's privacy with webcams, mics, smartphones, or even your social media accounts. Hopefully this will cause you to think about the technology around you, and you will proceed with more caution. Now that I have discussed the technology around us, Peter will discuss how China uses such technology.
By 2018, the Chinese government operated up to 200 million surveillance cameras. This is one camera for every 7 citizens. We're all privileged to live in a free society, so it is imperative for us to understand the conflicts that less fortunate people face in their everyday lives. China utilizes technology as a means to spy on its citizens in order to rate their personal integrity. I've used articles from CNBC, Business Insider, Wired, as well as an interview from NPR for this presentation. I'll be discussing China's internet surveillance, as well as their camera surveillance, and how they affect the social structure of its citizens. China's internet surveillance. Of the population of China, 750 million access the internet. And according to CNBC, in 2017, the Cyberspace Administration released another heavy load of regulations. In particular, these new regulations required all online platforms to be managed by a party-sanctioned editorial staff. Some online platforms are also being monitored by internet police. For example, every message sent through the popular Chinese messaging app WeChat goes through the Chinese technology giant Tencent. According to Business Insider, the Chinese government requires tech companies to keep the conversations of its citizens for up to 6 months. This allows the Chinese government to track its citizens on the internet even easier. While the Chinese internet surveillance does collect tons of data, only when it is paired with camera surveillance does the Chinese government gather the real and the online. China's vast camera surveillance. As the Chinese government is able to, with over 200 million surveillance cameras, the Chinese government is able to physically track all of its citizens. With over 200, these Chinese government uses artificial intelligence with facial recognition to create artificial intelligence. In this system, the activity of the citizen is also mapped. By 2020, the Chinese government is planning on completing its nationwide surveillance network. And with the use of artificial intelligence, China plans on identifying every citizen by activity, race, gender, religion, and even more. Here's a picture of what the artificial intelligence looks for. Notice that every object here that is either a person or operated by a person has a little box around it. This box basically maps the identity with the person driving the vehicle or the person, their online history, what they do online, and it combines these together to create an identity for each citizen. And finally, with using both internet surveillance and vast camera surveillance, China is creating the most advanced social credit system. This system, according to Wired, is a system that rates the trustworthiness of a citizen by evaluation of social behaviors and facial identification. The top score one can have in this system is 1,000. And when you do something the Chinese government dislikes, your score will go down. Here are some of the effects that the social credit score will have on you. Being able to board a flight or a train, any high consumption luxuries that a citizen might be able to enjoy can be taken away. Throttling your internet speeds, banning you or your kids from the top schools, stopping you from getting the best jobs, being publicly named as a bad citizen. Sometimes you'll even have billboards in China with the identity or the face of a citizen who is labeled untrustworthy. And even having your dog taken away. An interesting story about this is about Leo Dun. Leo Dun lives in the Shaanxi province of China. And one day, like many days, he went online to buy a ticket to Beijing. This was a high-speed train ticket. Well, when he went online, he found out that he was unable to buy this ticket. For some reason, this ticket was being blocked because, as Leo researched later on, he found out it was an early version of the social credit system. This early version of the social credit system blocked him from using high consumption enjoyments or luxuries such as tickets, plane tickets. The reason why this happened to him is because Leo, well, he's in the coal business. He buys a large amount of coal and sells it. And when the Chinese government changed their ideology about coal, when they're trying to move a little closer to clean energy, he found out that he was in debt. So he was labeled as an untrustworthy citizen. He even had his face put up on a billboard in his own town. In summary, the Chinese government continues to crack down on any outlet that may give some sort of freedom to its citizens, from the internet to their travels. The Chinese government uses internet surveillance as well as camera surveillance, both as technological avenues to ultimately rate its citizens in the social credit system. We live in such a free society compared to China. By hearing my presentation, I hope that you will understand the scope of China's surveillance through its use of technology. From the internet to the person, China has and continues to create a social credit system through the use of technology that will take away all of its citizens' freedoms. We'll talk about security in our country. Here's Ron.
I'd like to start off my presentation with a quote from our founding father, Benjamin Franklin. He stated, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." We are all citizens in this country. We are entitled to our rights. When the U.S. government has infringed on our rights, we are left powerless. The government's use of technological surveillance was initially meant for national security, but as of recently, it feels more like an invasion of personal privacy. I have obtained research from the Foreign Policy, the American Civil Liberties Union, the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, and Reuters in order to discuss the implications that technology has on our personal privacy. Let's take a look at how government utilizes technological surveillance to spy on us and where they source our personal information from. The United States employed the NSA, or the National Security Agency, to illegally survey citizens through our personal devices. Edward Snowden, the former contractor with the NSA, revealed the acts to a media outlet. And according to the ACLU, on June 5th, 2013, The Guardian linked a series of documents that showed the NSA's unlawful activities. According to Reuters, the United States National Security Agency collected more than 151 million copies of phone records from American phone calls in 2016. This was even after Congress was limited in its ability to collect bulk phone records from the USA Freedom Act. Snowden stated during his meeting with The Guardian, in general, the reality is this. If an NSA, FBI, CIA, DIA, etc. analyst has access to query raw signals intelligence databases, they can enter and get results for anything they want. We now know how the government uses technology to conduct surveillance on its citizens, but where are they getting their sources from? Well, according to the Foreign Policy, the NSA has received networking materials from their top secret program, the PRISM program. The NSA uses large corporations to intercept personal communications from citizens in the United States. This includes companies such as Yahoo, Google, Microsoft, and even Facebook. All of which gave away emails, social media posts or profiles, and Skype calls. The PRISM program even went in taking cell phone data through large companies. These companies include Verizon and AT&T, the largest networks here in America. This means calls, texts, FaceTime, Snapchat, and other means of communication were being constantly monitored by the government. During an interview with Edward Snowden from the Joe Rogan Experience, Snowden details the deal made between the government and these companies, which you will see right now.
It was Congress passed an emergency
Go ahead and skip it, because we don't have much time.
2007.
It's a minute-long video, so you can just add that. In conclusion, living in our free country doesn't apply to our personal freedom of privacy when it comes to technology. The government has used various technological avenues to spy on everything we do on a daily basis. It's important for us to understand that our rights have been infringed and may still be infringed as we speak. So we need to be cognizant of what we do with our personal devices, because you may never know who's watching on the other side. Now that we know what our government is capable of looking at through internet or satellite hacking, what can we do to protect ourselves from unlawful surveillance, and how do we maintain cyber awareness? Well, for that answer, I give you Abhinay Patala.
Imagine after a few clicks in your smartphone or laptop, a stranger has access to your camera and your personal information. You have just been hacked and now you're being watched. We know now how technology can invade in our personal life, but do you understand how to protect ourselves from technological surveillance? The amount of shared information and resources we have access through the internet and social media is amazing, but it's important to protect ourselves from digital invasion. I conducted some research on methods to increase our cyber awareness as well as to stay protected in the technological war. I'll be describing how to maintain personal privacy while using your laptop and smartphone, as well as how to keep your personal information safe on social media. So, your camera in your laptop or smartphone can be watching you. People who want to get your photos, videos, or live access to your camera can do so by hacking your device and controlling your camera remotely. Without your knowledge, people or organizations can install malware, getting through the back doors or with your permission on an app. So here is what we can do to be safe from being hacked or spied. Cover your webcam with tape while you're not using it. When you are not using your external webcam, remember to unplug it when you don't need it. Always make sure that you have antivirus on your smartphone and laptops because it helps to spot and block malwares. Be sure to enable your firewall as well. Use your devices on secure network and avoid anywhere public networks, as sometimes they target you by giving you a free access to the internet, but they hack your smart device. Think carefully before you give any app the permission to access to your phone, for example, like location, contacts, cameras, and accounts. Caution about the emails you open and the links or attachment inside them. Don't get fooled by the online advertisement, as they are a good source of grabbing you to get some personal information and try to spy on you or hack your stuff. So now that we understand how to maintain our personal privacy on smartphones and laptops, let's take a look at how to keep our personal information secure on social media. So how do we use social media safely? So create About Me field as optional. Facebook gives the option of filling great amount of information about yourself. For example, date of birth, your education, universities you attend, where you live. However, you don't have to feel like you must fill these blanks, as Facebook doesn't require it in order to make an account. Furthermore, you never know who has access to this information, so you must ensure that you are careful about putting too much personal information on social media. Always log out when you're done. If you're using public computers, it's important you make sure you're fully logged out, as it helps to make sure that people will not use your social media accounts to do whatever they want with it. In conclusion, it's hard to be fully secure these days because we are surrounded with all kinds of technologies that some people and secret organizations are using it to spy and watch people. By following some of these methods, we can reduce the possibility of cyber invasion. So now we know how to protect ourselves from technological surveillance. I hope all of you had a better knowledge now about this issue and use these methods to protect yourself from being hacked. So a quote by Steve Larson: "We need to have a talk on the subject of what's yours and what's mine." Thank you.
To summarize everything, technology has been used as a means to invade our personal privacy. Technology has evolved from taking a picture with a regular camera
information, which have been abused by tightly controlled countries such as China.
To even free countries such as our own.
Thankfully, we know now what we can do to increase our cyber awareness and protect ourselves from technological surveillance.
So what will you do to be cyber safe?
That's awesome. Awesome job, guys.
Oh, that video